Yeah. Got the flight book, it's a library. I'm in that deal. Just took a flight to Bora and foreign cars like foreigners. Burberry on her. Up in France, bitch, bonjour. I been come to go so we going Paris tomorrow. Only Paris we carry, spin at the mall. We doing the same alone. My diamonds be saying, add some more change. That's the same alone. Dripping all the way from home and taking the wrong. Got the flight book, it's a library. We ain't flying solo. Tune in to the show. It's the Passport Bros. No excuse entertainment. Jay Slay on the show. Turn it up some more. It's the Passport Bros.
Yo, what's good? What's good? Welcome to the Passport Bros podcast. Hope all is well. I just need to pin. Okay, cool. Man. I got a lot to say. You know what I mean? Then I'll open up the panel for people to come up. Let me see who in the building real quick. Ronin Travelers, yes, always hit the like button, man. It helps people tune in to the stream. Appreciate it. Oh, Buck got smoked, man, for Austin, man. He said Austin the crybaby, man. Man, it's a lot of people that be crying, man. Burt Ross, man, salute. Hope all is well. Keys, what's good? And it's Jay Clyde. Now, y'all supposed to have wrenches, man. Let me see what's up with that, man. I don't see it in the, what you call it. Let me see. Let me make sure. All right, cool, man. Jay Clyde and Burt, man. Drop a comment real quick. I just want to see if y'all got the wrench. Oh, Lee said he got some. He gonna come up. All right. What's good? Spawn the programmer. Lee said, I don't think he crying just speaking his ninth experiences. Now, I will say this. This is not about Austin, but it does apply. It does apply. For sure. All right, cool, man. So I'm gonna get right to it, man. And guys, put in the chat what y'all think too. So the title of the stream is Stop Crying, Pick a Country Where You Get the Most Love. And I think that's the whole premise of being a passport bro. In my opinion, it's about getting your passport, traveling to as many countries as you can, and even in a particular country, travel to many cities, and then you pick 2 or 3 favorite places, and that's just how it is. Every place doesn't have to be better than the U.S. Everybody is going to have different success in different countries. You know what I mean? Some guys do well in Brazil and not other countries. Some guys do well in Colombia and not so other countries. Some guys do well in Asia, Africa, even Europe, etc. So it's no point of we should start crying this is when we should start crying. When every country is like the Matrix, that's when we should start crying. That's when we should stop crying. Until then, it's nothing to cry about. It's just move around. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna get right to it, man. Do you need to be or have X to have success overseas? Now, some things I may say, some people may take it the wrong way or whatever the case may be, but I'm gonna roast myself while I'm roasting other people, while I'm roasting other people per se. So I'm not void of any criticism. So do you have to be tall to have success overseas? No. However, height does play a factor. See, a lot of times, a lot of times we talk about how delusional these females is, and they will circle around all these other possibilities except some of the things that may be pertaining to them. You know what I mean? So if you're a guy that's, let's say, a little bit overweight, you may not think that you're that much overweight, but to some of these women, they may want somebody a little bit more in shape. And so while you're complaining, talking about, man, these women not conforming, or I'm being treated like this or like that, it could be because of your weight. Conversely, I'll be honest with you, outside the United States, women still like tall men. You know what I mean? You watch these pop the balloons in different countries. You hear women in other countries get interviewed about their ideal guy. Yes, height is important to a lot of women still. You know what I mean? Do shorter guys have success or more success overseas? Yes, they do. In countries like I'll put like countries where like men are typically shorter. Let's say like Colombia, uh, Asia, for example. In Africa, South African men are shorter than other, they're short. And Kenyan men are short. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna use those kind of things, right? So so I'm doing different characteristics. But I'm gonna do one characteristic at a time. So I'm talking about height right now. So Asian men are shorter than the average American man. Kenyan men are shorter. Colombian men are shorter, right? So if you're a guy that's short, you're gonna have more success in maybe like a Colombia or a Kenya or even Asia, because what I mean, it's not really, women aren't really demanding for something that's not really in a majority, you know. So, but if you go to countries where men are taller, and like I'm tall. I'm 6'2.5", closer to 6'3". But I've been to in the United States. I'm tall. I'm tall. I'm taller than most people. You go to countries like Brazil. Me going to countries like Brazil, and even being in countries in like close to like South Sudan. There are a lot of South Sudan men in like Kenya, and then you got like Tanzania, Rwanda. So men are kind of more in stature in some of those countries too. You know what I mean? And even me seeing like some white guys from like Europe, I didn't realize like how tall. Like it's some big white dudes too. You know what I mean? So when you step out of the world, you're gonna see like what I mean, like there's gonna be places where it's gonna be guys very much taller, much bigger, or it's gonna be countries where guys are more frail and shorter. But the point is that if you're in a country where there's a mismatch, you can't you can't complain. Now, a lot of things can be true at the same time. And Buck, I'm not bringing people. You could chill, but I'm not bringing people up yet until I kind of get through my rant. But a lot of things can be true at the same time. So I will agree, because there's conversation still about racism and colorism. So in Latin America, right? In Latin America, and this is just as a black man, the majority of rejection I'll say this, the majority of the rejection will be because of ethnicity or nationality. And so what I mean by that is that if you're in Colombia or Brazil, it's likely you're going to get rejected because you're not Colombian, or because you're not Brazilian. That's nothing to really complain about. That's just most women are going to have a higher preference for their nationality or ethnicity. You know what I mean? And so ethnicity could be, well, for example, right? Let's say that if I go to Colombia and I'm a black man, right? But I'm a FBA or quote unquote black American, right? But another black man could be he could be African, or he could be Haitian, and so they might get rejected because of their ethnicity, not because they're black. And the same thing could happen to reverse, right? It could be a group of us. It could be a group of different black guys, right? And let's say we're in Africa, and they'll say, I'm a black American. I got a Haitian with me. I got a Jamaican with me. I got an African with me. I got an Afro Latino with me. And somebody may say, you know what? I don't really rock with black Americans like that. Now I can't say now if that happens, I can't get mad because they have a preference on ethnicity. So we can't complain. We have to understand that Latin America being majority whiter skin, and a lot of them have national pride. We have to understand that the majority of rejection we receive, 90% of the time, is going to be because we're not quote unquote Colombian or Brazilian for the respective countries, right? So that's the first part. Then other rejection may be skin color, right? Colorism does exist. Now I would say this myself, me being a dark skinned person, it's just some women that just like lighter skinned dudes. Like, I mean, I can't be like, I could be with a group of white guys, right? It'll be irresponsible for me to be with a group of white guys and I get treated differently or a certain way. And I can assume there's nothing wrong. I could assume that it's because of my race, but there also could be because I'm dark skinned, right? Maybe if I was light skinned, maybe it'll be different. And so we don't necessarily know all the time. But that is another thing to consider. So my point is that we have to consider more than one thing. So the other thing outside of skin color, if a woman doesn't care about your nationality, if she doesn't care about your skin color, then the next thing that she might care about is appearance. You know what I mean? Whether you're slim, overweight, tall, or short. So if there's a group of guys, right, and I've seen this, if there's a group of guys, right, and let's say it's 5 guys, 4 of the guys are pretty tall and 1 guy is short, and he's not getting no play, he cannot, it'll be disingenuous to say it's something else outside the fact that he's short, right? Let me know if I'm making sense or not. You know what I mean? So I don't know how tall these guys are. I don't know, on camera you just see people, face and lower extremity. You don't really know how tall a lot of these guys are. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know how tall these guys are, but the guys that are short and you know who you are, you cannot be mad. You cannot throw out the possibility, the reason that you're not getting the results that you are because you're short. You know what I mean? What's short to a woman? Short is, if you shorter than her. In America, it varies amongst women, but if you're like, if you're 5'6", 5'7", some women are not going to be digging that, even if you're taller than them. Let me read some of these comments real quick, man. Spawn said, I appreciate it, bro. Lee said, can't. He said, with that said, people are upset that they are not their precious Latinas or Asian girls' first choice. Yeah. Lee said, American black women are best option. Get your swag up and get your thug appeal up. I mean, I won't say, I won't co-sign for that. It may be somebody's best option. I won't say it's mine, but it's somebody's best option. I would say this: there is a woman in the U.S. that I'll put it like this, there is a woman in the U.S. that could be my best option, but how many of those type of women are there? That it's a numbers thing, right? It's cool to have one woman that meets everything, but I want the option to know that if it doesn't work out, she can be easily replaced. And so if there's 1,000, if I could go to a country and there's 1,000 of a particular woman that checks all the boxes, I'd rather be in a country where there's 1,000 of compatible mates than be in a country where it's just 10. You know what I mean? So I like to have an advantage of having a majority. Lee said a lot of password bros are not attracted to African women where they would have the most success. They're fixated on Latinas and Asians, where the white guys and the local men have the advantage. Yeah, there are guys that are going to Africa now, not in large numbers, but yeah, I get your point. Vegan Expert said, I just got here, so I don't know what's been said, but I'm glad someone is speaking on men crying about who black men and who don't women, and hold on, who like black men and who don't women have the right to choose who they date. Yeah, the first thing I said is we should only cry when there's no options, when there's no available options. I'm going to say now is, unless you feel like you check all the boxes, you can't just immediately use, you can't just solely use the race card, right? Because it could be a combination of both. Now, in a previous stream, I said that as black people, we have the right to assume racism at all costs. I'm not gonna contradict that. We have a right to assume that. You know what I mean? The burden is never on black people to decide if someone's being an asshole versus someone being racist. So we have the right, because we still live in a racist world, we have a right to assume the worst. You know what I mean? So I won't take that from anybody that assumes racism, but it's a kind of a moot point because it's understood that outside of America or in countries where we're the minority, it's assumed that racism is going to exist. That should be an assumption. Now, guys that go to Brazil and say, you know what, I never experienced racism, you might not experience racism, but it's irresponsible to ignore that it's there. Now, if you know that it's there and you know how black Brazilians, for example, are being treated, you know, I mean, you're not naive to that, that's fine. If you never experienced racism, you can say that. Just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean that you're a part of it, right? It doesn't mean that you're a part of it, because when you want to do business in Brazil, if you wanted to get a job in Brazil, if you put yourself in situations where it's going to display itself, you're going to experience racism. You just haven't experienced in the way in the United States because you work in the United States. You have to deal with white people or racist people in the United States on vacation, or when you're not dependent on when you're not dependent on making money in that country, of course you're not going to see it. Vegan Expert said, okay, I got that. Ronan said, yeah, how tall is Austin? I don't know how tall he is, but from what I've been told and I seen him on Pop the Balloon. I seen him on a Pop the Balloon on O'Shea channel, and the women on there was taller than him. So I was like, all the women that was in that it wasn't a Pop the Balloon, it was a speed dating show. And all the women on that show was taller than him. So I don't know. But if that's the case, like, bro, like that's it's just gonna be L's. I gotta take L's when it comes to being dark skinned in some places. Some light skinned guys, a lot of light skinned guys say they'll say, bro, you'll do well in Europe, man, because they love dark guys. And some light skinned guys don't do as well in Europe as dark skinned guys. So that's just the name of the game. Pablo said, I'm sorry, I don't subscribe to I have to visit a bunch of countries to find my happy place. If I like a place, I like it. It doesn't have to be perfect or without flaws. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you mean. The point is that you pick a country that you pick a country that you love or get the most love, because there's no point of complaining about countries that you don't get love from. You know what I mean? So some people don't need to visit a lot of countries. You know what I mean? Me personally, I feel like I did. You know what I mean? I fell in love in Colombia, fell in love with a Colombiana, visited South Africa, and realized like, oh shit, I should have been visiting South Africa. So, that to each his own when it comes to that. Buck Troll said, I see a lot of European men overseas. They are tall, 6'3" on average, and their women are tall. Yeah. Spartan Travel said 5'10" below is considered short. Let's see. He said height plays a role in dating and relationship. Yeah, didn't nobody really want to call that out or say anything. How tall is Skylar? I mean, and this I'm just curious. I just want to do. Skylar seems to be having the success that he wants in Brazil. I'm just curious how tall Skylar is. If anybody knows. Height, he said, damn, sure ain't mine. Season Swag said, well-dressed, groomed, great smelling man with some coins. Win on every continent, yeah. And sometimes that's just not going to do it. Sometimes that's not going to do it. Like I said before, sometimes it could be just your nationality or ethnicity. And you got to eat that. JM said, but why are people being mean to Austin? According to you, he is in the top % of good-looking men. To me, he's just an average nuka. Who said he's in the top 10% of good-looking men? Who said that? I wouldn't rank. Well, first of all, I wouldn't even rate or rank a man in that type of category. But Vegan Expert said, I chose the Philippines to find a girl. I don't need to go to 50 countries to find prostitute. Filipinas love black men and are very accepted with no racism. I don't need Brazil or Colombia. Shout out to you. Okay, he said 5'7". Okay. Y'all got smoke. Global paper in the building. Models, bottles for life. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we need to ask him. We need to ask him on his next live. Because when people, and I want to know how tall Skylar is too, because now we gotta start profiling. Now we gotta start profiling people. Rico said, correct, no excuses, because anti-blackness is a real and global phenomenon. Yes. He said he's about 5'9". Okay. I mean, men do it all the time. If you with a beautiful woman, men profile you. If you with a beautiful woman, men gonna be looking like, not all, but some men are gonna look like, okay, he got drip. Okay, look like he got money. He look like he goes to the gym. He tall. He this. So women do that too. So men profile based on what they see you with or can get, and you're gonna get profiled based on what you can't get. You know what I mean? So if guys that want to be on, YouTube and in public, we got to ask these questions. People ask me questions. It's up to me if I want to answer them or not. But you're gonna get questions. We got to ask these. We got to ask questions like, how tall are you? We need to see like why you're having success, and we need to see why you're not having success. You know what I mean? And if guys are calling cap, guys are gonna do their research and see if it's cap. Very few men check all the boxes. It's insecurities to always worry about what another man is getting that you're not. Get what you can. It's still better than what you left. Yeah, it's still better. Yeah. Austin got a little man syndrome. He's an incel. Buck be having smoke for everybody. Drew, salute to the chat. Okay, Pablo said he's agreeing. All right, I'm almost caught up, man. Let's see. Lisa, when Carlos Red brings up the height issue, everybody acts like height don't matter. It's gonna matter to some women. Botra, no excuse. Play that Ugandan Pop the Balloon show with Austin. Many of the chat don't know. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me go on YouTube, man. Let me go on YouTube real quick. This wasn't Pop the Balloon. It was Kinganda dating. All right, let me find it real quick. Okay. Without me really playing it, because it does slow down the bandwidth, I'm just gonna show you the thumbnail. I'm gonna try to show the thumbnail. So let me share this real quick. Let me show this real quick, man, because all right, y'all can see the thumbnail, right? Let me make myself a little smaller. All right, so he was in this this show. Let me see if I could hover over it real quick. Matter of fact, let me just play it real quick. Let me just play it.
Okay.
Let me pause it. Let me go to a good part. All right. All right. So he was on this show. So I don't know how tall these ladies are, right? But most of them ladies felt like he was too short. You know what I mean? And then the shortest one, she was cute. I think that's the one he ended up picking or whatever like that. But if this was you, you can't get mad, or you can, like, for example, right? You can't be in this situation and then say the reason why this girl in the beige dress wasn't showing love because I'm an American. Because the first thing I'm gonna say is, well, it might not be because you're American. It may be because it's something physically she might not be attracted to. It may not be nothing wrong with his height. It could be because they may want a dark skinned man, or they may prefer a white, or they could prefer a white man. But my thing is that you have a right as yourself to assume or to believe what you want to believe. But in this public forum like YouTube, we have to assess the situation too. You know what I mean? Because if it's a situation of racism or colorism, and I could demonstrate that, and then my audience could say, you know what? Yeah, no excuse. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, but if I'm demonstrating something and they be like, nah, bro, God will tell me like, nah, bro, like I fuck with you, but I don't see it like that. You know what I mean? You got to be open to think about alternative. But I just wanted to so this was the example I was referring to. So let me stop sharing this real quick. So he said, easy fix, but elevated shoes or combat boots. To be fair, those women are wearing heels. Yeah, all women. Yeah, lots of women wear heels. Women typically are unfair, right? They typically judge a guy based on how they are in heels. Unfortunately, he said that lady on the right is very tall, or Austin is short at 5'7". Season Sweat said, "I'll take a tall drink of water." Absolutely, he is short. He is too short. He doesn't match up to the international standard. Point blank. He said, "Bro, those some dusty pickings to choose from." He said he likes Africa. Yeah, I like Africa too. I mean, I have my complaints, but I like Africa too. Although they diss Austin, they said your voice doesn't match. Oh, okay. I didn't watch it. I watched it, but I don't remember what they said. But that's crazy. He said if you're 6'3" and can't please the woman sexually, and the other dude 5'8" and is a sexual master, who you think the woman is going to pick? Yeah, I mean that's true. She's going to go with the guy that's better than bed, but you still have to make it. You still have to make it to that point of getting in bed with her. But yeah, women have a sixth sense of determining what man can probably please them in bed. They be looking at the meat area. You wearing some joggers or what they call them hoochie daddy shorts. Women have clues. They have clues. Book Travel said, facts, no excuse. We need to profile. We need to know guys' height, background, to know if they having success or not. He said, I guess it just proves just because it's foreign don't always mean it's better. All four look ratchet wearing heels, but disqualify him on height, except the short one, but that's because she's shorter. Papa said height matters, but I find it's not as big of a criteria outside of the U.S. Yeah, but you can't have double negative too. You can't be short and black. Yeah, in some countries, right? You can't be short and broke. You know what I mean? So you can't have double negatives for them per se. Height matters because women want tall. Man, where QB at, man? Well, QB, I need QB because QB probably like my height. What's good, QB? What's good, QB? He said, and I'll be damned if some third world chick who need my resources to elevate her life thinks she's going to disqualify me. All right, they need me. I don't need them. I'm the prize. You right, bro. But you know what I mean? A lot of these women, unfortunately, have access to a lot of men. And even I was in a group chat today. I was talking about Burundi. So Burundi is a country in Africa, right? So Burundi is known to be the poorest country in the world, right? And just to give you some context, Burundi and Rwanda used to be one country. So the the women that are very beautiful in Rwanda, which come from the Tutsi tribe, there are Tutsis in Burundi too. So there's highly beautiful women in Burundi. So that's just a nugget I'm gonna throw out there. But Burundi is below Haiti, has been categorized as the poorest country in the world. I've chatted with several chicks from Burundi, and they are some of the most seditious, selective, not pressed at all women in that country. And this is Africa too. You know what I mean? I'm used to women in quote unquote third world countries in Latin America where they put their best foot forward. They show high interest. They present themselves well. They are very gracious and grateful. Even though I hate to use the word grateful, but they are very humble. I'm just going to say that they're very humble when they meet a foreign man. And there's countries in Africa that's poor, more destitute, and the women aren't pressed. It's because of the access to social media. You know what I mean? They have validation that gives them a sense of happiness. You know what I mean? So, that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, we can say we are the prize, bro. But they got access to so much men on Instagram, TikTok, these dating websites. Men can send them money with never meeting them again, with never meeting them in person. So, like I said, that's a whole other conversation. He said, Juan wants me to pull on the wifey, LOL, Viva Mexico. QB, Mexican men are very short, man. QB, does height matter to women in Mexico? And then two, if you were shorter, would you have the same success, QB? QB probably is like 6'2", 6'3". If you were 5'7", would you have the same success in Mexico, QB? Ivan the Hustle, if you are working on yourself as a man, you shouldn't be worried about what anyone thinks of you. Do the work you can and expect a good outcome. True that. QB not 6'5". QB not 6'5". We like the same height. Is Burundi dangerous? I haven't got the dangerous vibe. I do want to visit, but I don't think it's dangerous like that. All right. Okay. QB says, I appreciate the $2 super chat, bro. He said, yes, height matters in Mexico. And Mexican men are short. That's, you know what I mean? He said height matters. All right. Where we at? Yeah. If anybody wants to pull up, the link is pinned. It's cool to come up. What else did I want to mention? So I want to let me get to Brazil, because Brazil is probably where Brazil was probably challenging when it came to like the 9s and 10s, right? So what up, Buck? I'm gonna mute. Let me finish this real quick. So if anybody knows like All In in Rio de Janeiro, right? So All In, Vitrini fits in that category as well. So it's a very grown and sexy club. Baddies. They do get guest appearances from like celebrities, musicians, football players. So, I mean, it's that type of vibe. Now, Americans, we got money to buy VIP sections and pop bottles and stuff like that. But, I've went to that club and brought my A game. Like when I say my A game, meaning like I can go to like some of the top clubs in like Houston or Atlanta or even Vegas and just pull. You know what I mean? Because All In, you want to be kind of like you kind of want to fit in. So I may have on like a nice blazer, a collar shirt opened up, showing the chest a little bit. Might got some nice slacks on, shoes, cologne, everything. You know what I mean? Just fly. And I'll be in environments where I know that I could pull. I could at least get a number right in the States at some of these like high end places, but all in, they just a lot of chicks wasn't pressed like that. You know what I mean? I was probably able to get a number or two, but I had to kind of like get more of like the average looking ones. You know what I mean? The nines or tens, like they not even. You know how some chicks like even if you got money, like they'll at least glance or pay attention. Like these chicks wasn't. I was with some guys and we had a section. These chicks wasn't even pressed. It was like we wasn't in the room. If I'm gonna use the words of officer, it was like we wasn't in the room. And I was like, damn, dog. But I couldn't get mad. I'm in Brazil. Um, I'm black. They don't know if I'm American or not. I'm black. I look like I got money. You know what I mean? I'm well put together. But at the end of the day, I'm just not the first option. And it's okay. It's okay. You know, you're not gonna have your pick anywhere. This is the thing that this is what I wanted to say. Um, okay, this is the thing that I wanted to say too. You're not gonna have your pick anywhere when it comes to eights, nines, and tens. I don't care where. I don't care if it's Brazil. I don't care if it's Colombia, DR, Thailand, South Africa. I don't care where it is. You're not just going to have your pick when it comes to eights, especially nines and tens. It's not. It's just not going to be like that. Like we want to leave the matrix to be able to pull or obtain more attractive woman that we feel that's available to us in the United States. And whether she's a dime in the United States, whether she's a dime in Africa, whether she's a dime in Brazil, whether she's a dime in Colombia, the level of difficulty is going to be the same. She could be a dime in Haiti. She could be a dime in Burundi. You know what I mean? She could be a dime in Alaska. The level of difficulty is going to be the same, especially if she has access to social media, especially if her parents don't have a firm grip on her. You know what I mean? So that's the reality. Because once again, guys, especially as content creators, we want to show you these countries. We want to show you, that we can meet, date, or even marry beautiful women. You know what I mean? So guys are, I would say this from a content creator standpoint, you know what I mean? Guys are wanting to obtain attractive women because that's what people want to see ultimately at the end of the day. But it's not sweet like that. It's not sweet like that for the most part. You know what I mean? It's going to take some work. It may take you being there for an extended amount of time. It may take you to be in the right circles to meet certain women, or you just deal with the chicks that want money, that you can give them money and there'll be a trophy piece on your arm. That's the only way most of us are going to obtain eights, nines, and tens regularly. It's gonna have to be leveraging your wallet. You know what I mean? But just to have those genuine interactions with eights, nines, and tens, like it's going to be difficult everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. And like I said, the link is pinned in the description if anybody wants to come up. QB said, if I was below 6 feet, I most likely won't have as much success. Preach, preach, preach. Backpack Ball in the building. Yo, what's good? What's good? Let's see. QB said Vegas is lit, but you are going to pay. Yeah, you are going to pay. Man, chillin', man. You know, I want people to just pick the country that you get love the most, or where you get love from. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. Jesse Ville, he said, I love this title, bro. Yes, indeed. Appreciate it, bro. TL said you should have push up on the one you wanted, win, lose, or draw. Marty W said, he said, tell him Rob, mongers and dudes who aren't really outside can't understand that sometimes women won't select you in other countries even though you have money. Yeah. JM said, you have to remember Austin is not educated. He never finished college, and he is a blue collar. Why would a doctor, lawyer, engineer, etc. want to be with him? Let's be honest. But a lot of foreign women never really ask my occupation. A lot of them just, if you American, you just got money. Or if you traveling, you got money. Global Paper said, I was going to Nuth and Barra Tijuca back in 2009 with no issues. He said, in Brazil, as you should know, Portuguese is a must and resources are a must. In high society in Brazil, it is what is like. Boa sorte. That means good luck. He said, the level of difficulty is not going to be the same. No way. That's a long time ago, brother, pre-social media. Yeah. He said, I always said dimes are the same everywhere. The difference is a sixth in a third world country doesn't have the attitude of it. Yeah, that's basically it, man. That's basically it. I mean, we want to overcomplicate stuff. That's basically it. You got 6s, 5s, 4s in U.S. that have an attitude of a 10. They want the outcome of a 10. They want the men that 10s can pull. This is why women put the lashes on, do the eyebrows, do the airbrushing now, do all that to transform into a 9 or 10. I've seen these transformations, and I mean, some of them look very good. You know, they will transform themselves from a 6, 7 to like a 8, 9. You know, I want to roast this girl so bad. So let me roast her. I don't like. How should I say this? I'm just gonna say this. It's not a roast. So I seen this girl's Instagram page. She goes by, well, people know her by either Carolyn or Ebony, right? She's a Venezuelan in the U.S. You know what I mean? No shade, no hate, but I'm just calling what I see it. Now, she got married, so that's a whole, that's a whole nother conversation. She got married here, but I was looking at her pictures. I was like, she looked colder. You know what I mean? Because to me, she was like, in my opinion, I always felt that she was like a decent 7, 8 on her wedding day. That's just kind of how I looked at her. But I was looking on Instagram. I was like, damn. I was like, she looked different. Like she looks more Europeanized. And what she did was, I could tell she had surgery because she used to have like a nose like a typical black person, and her nose is thinner. It looks like her cheekbones is a little bit enhanced, and she has like some lip enhancements. And I was like, damn, she looked like a Europeanized black woman now. You know what I mean? So she has elevated herself, visually. Sometimes women attitude change once they feel like their looks has changed. But to Lee's point, if we get a 6, we want her to have the attitude of a 6. If it's a 7, we expect the attitude of a 7. You know, that's just how us men think, whether women like it or not. What's good, Ronan? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
What's going on, man?
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Am I coming through all right?
Yeah, you good. You good now.
All right.
Just reading a few more of these chats. Ozzy said social media changed everything across the world. Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, it changed the game, bro. This is not my words, but this one guy, he said if you really want to, he said these days you got to have a woman in a rural setting, and he said if she got a cell phone, you got a child locker phone. I was like, he said you got a child locker phone, man. So how do the child locks work? Do they restrict you from going to certain websites or time restriction? Because I thought it was funny, even though I know he was, laughing but serious. But let me know how does the child lock work? I want to get context on why he would have said that. Marty W says some women will not break their culture to deal with you. That's true. No matter how much self-improvement you do, you're not like them. That's true. He said height trumps game. And he said, Buck says women want tall men because they want taller kids. That's true too. King Tao said, I know and I have known a lot of short dudes who get mad chicks, no problem. Yeah. He said, being educated doesn't make you intelligent. I know plenty of idiots with degrees. Yeah. I mean, everybody get love, right? Dark-skinned dudes go places and get love. Short dudes, winning. A lot of short dudes is winning in the U.S. Look at Country Wayne. You know what I mean? That man got women throwing themselves at him. Look at T.I. T.I. used to get so many chicks like T.I. still to this day. You know what I mean? Even, so more than one thing can be true at the same time. Now, I'm gonna get these brothers in real quick. As El said, height is not important in most of these countries, especially where the women are significantly short. I'm 5'10", but most chicks I talk to in Colombia think I'm tall. Yeah, but there may be situations where there are women that want. Put it like this: if you run across women that want a taller man, is it something to complain about, or just take it on the chin? You know what I mean? Is that part of the game? He said, y'all paying the 6 though, that ain't treating her like a 10. Yeah, if you treating her like a 10, then yeah. Tia said American 5s be acting like 10s because of thirsty dudes. All right, cool, man. So I got Ronan and Pan African Capitalist, man. What you got, Ronan, man? What's your thoughts so far?
I mean, it started off with the height thing, and then I started questioning some other things, and somebody hit it a little bit in the chat. While we look for women of substance overseas, you also have to bring that when you're going overseas. You have to be a man of substance. Mm-hmm. It ain't just your looks, it's your height, your intelligence, how stable you are, where your resources are coming from, your life experience. Women want to feel like they can ingrain themselves in you and you have something to show them. Mm-hmm. What is Austin really projecting? What are some of these young men projecting when they go overseas, besides for a short time? Do they have stability? Are they projecting that resource that woman can kind of wrap themselves around? There's a lot of things that aren't being discussed when you go overseas and women look at you. Same way they look at you here, they looking at you there overseas the same way. What are you providing? Besides for your looks and maybe a little bit of wealth temporarily while you're here for 2 weeks. Where's the longevity at? Where's the stability at? Where are the resources at? You get what I'm saying? Why am I going to give up what I'm doing here right now in this country when you get ready to leave? I ain't got shit to fucking fall back on.
Right.
You know, so we got to really open up the broad range of this discussion, because it ain't just about looks. There's other things that go along with that. You know what I'm saying? I have plenty of young women that come after me because of the other things, besides for just my height, weight. And I'm 6'2". I look like a fucking tank when I'm walking around. You know, so that has nothing to do with it. You know, there's other things that go on right along with that. And I'm going to land my plane so somebody else can talk.
What up, Pan-African capitalist? You could unmute your mic, bro.
What's going on, brothers?
Nothing much, man. How you
Can
doing?
y'all hear me? Y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear
Okay, cool. So here's the thing, right? It's very different overseas than it is in the US. One of the reasons being is one thing I realized living overseas, right? I live part-time in Africa, and I lived in Africa for about 18 months consistently. And what I had to realize is that every woman wants something different. Not all women want the same things, right?
Right.
You got some women, they want money. You got some women, they looking for true love. You got some women, maybe they just want a good sexual experience. So all of those things kind of play a factor. When you talk about the US versus overseas, I don't care what country you're in most cases, a dime, which is a very rare percentage of the population, like a real dime.
Right.
Most what these dudes calling dimes ain't dimes, they eights and nines. To be honest with you, but a real dime, the barrier to entry in most cases is going to be financial. Just the maintenance on a dime is going to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
She got to go to the spa. She needs makeup. She needs all her creams and all this type of hygienic stuff. She needs to get her eyebrows waxed, legs waxed, armpits waxed.
For
Just
you and
the
everybody
maintenance
else.
alone. You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. As far as the 8 and 9s, for me personally, I would say that 8s and 9s, 7, 8s and 9s are a lot easier to get overseas in the US.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because number one, you seem to have a lot more 8s and 7, 8s and 9s in some of these countries. The main country that we talk about, Brazil, Colombia. And the reason that is because if you look at Brazil, countries like Brazil and Colombia are countries that are considered by, most people to generally have some of the most beautiful women, is that a lot of the women are cheating the game. They're cheating the system. And what I mean by that is you have, not only do you have a higher beauty standard with those women where they know how to use the makeup and the enhancement and stuff like that, but it's also a higher amount of plastic surgery that's going on in these countries. So if you look at it, when you go to a lot of these countries, like let's say if you go to like the United States, typically what you see is most women have either one or the other. You might have a very attractive chick in the face, but she may not have no body. Like she may be real skinny, may have small breasts. Or you may have a chick that's the opposite. May not be that attractive in the face, but she has a banging body. What a lot of chicks in these countries that we love so much are doing is they're improving upon their natural ability. So if the chick is most Colombian chicks are already cute. You know what I'm saying? They already have a pretty face, most of the ones that I see. What they do is they'll get that surgery. They might get a little bit of work done on their butt. They might get a nose job. They might get some dental done. They might get some boob job. So what they doing is they may be a natural 6, but by the time they get the work done, they're like an 8 or 9. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You brought something I heard. It was a clip. It was like Pimpin' Ken and another guy.
Pimpin' Ken and the game guy Goldie. I know what you talk about.
Yeah, he was like, man, he was like, why spend all this money for a 9 or 10, I'm just paraphrasing, but for a 9 or 10, he was like, you could build you a bad bitch. You know what I mean? I'll take a 6 or 7.
Like a build a bear. He said, I'm gonna build a bear.
That's
Bruh.
right. 30,000 or less, and you could, you could turn you a
I've
5
done that
or a
before,
6
believe me.
into
I brought
8,
some
9.
boobs. I ain't gonna lie. I brought boobs before.
And the thing about in like Brazil and Colombia is they don't go crazy with the BBLs like in the States. Most of these chicks, they get in a big old crazy BBL. You know what I'm saying? Out there, from what I've seen, it's a little bit more moderate. And not only that, but they maintain it well. Like, okay, they get the little surgery, but they still going to the gym every day. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's the big difference, is the reason why it's easier to get the 6, 8, 7s, you know what I'm saying, in overseas than it is in the United States. Not only that, but the men out there don't give a damn. Like, I can't speak on every country, but I know, like, in Colombia, yo, man, them Colombian dudes be having about 3, 4, 5, 6 different baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they see a beautiful chick, a guy from the States might be like going crazy, like, oh man, this chick's so bad. They falling in love and all this type of shit. They like them dudes out there, like, she cool, they nonchalant with it. So it's like when all the men in your country, like, really, your beauty doesn't phase them, you really can't be arrogant like chicks in the United States. Like, it's dudes in Colombia, like local dudes I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? They still live with their parents. They got 3, 4 baby mamas, and all of them nice.
Let me
what I'm saying?
Let me answer this question real quick. Lee said the question is, after you make her a dime, will she switch up on you when she's getting attention from other men? It's how you police. It's how you control that situation. Now, if I got a regular chick, I'm putting money into like a nice outfit. We going out to the club or going out wherever, and she's looking like a baddie. You know what I mean? She's with me. I'm not sending her out with her girls on a girls trip. No, she's with me. You know what I mean? So if you got control of that situation.
But eventually she's going to walk out of your sight. Some nigga's going to walk up to her and try to get her number and talk to her when she's not around you. So you either trust her or you don't before you put in the money.
Well,
and you're going to know what your investment's going to bring back.
Well, for
it's going to cause more attention, first of all. So you're going to get more attention to that chick the minute you upgrade her.
Well, I got to be in control. If I won't put myself in that situation unless I can't control the environment.
I don't care. It was dirt money to me at that point. Yeah, I brought booze before. I'll tell everybody I brought booze before. It's no big deal. Yeah, I did chick for 5 years. So what?
I'm not worried about if I put money into a chick, her leaving, because I'm not going to put money into a chick that I can't control the environment.
Eventually, you're not going to be able to, bro. I'm just going to tell you from experience. You either going to have to trust her, or you're going to have to put a fucking little transistor in her arm.
Hold on. I think I'm a different type of nigga.
Okay.
I think I'm a different type of nigga. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
I want to say this. This is. I want to say this real quick. Men, we have to command. You may not always get respect, but you have to command respect. And so, I'm gonna use this example, right? So if I'm in a restaurant, and black women are good at this. So if you're in a restaurant, you getting shitty service, or if you feel like a group of white people are getting certain attention, and your food is laid and blah blah blah, I'm not gonna sit there and let nobody disrespect me like that. They gonna get checked. I'm gonna be like, excuse me, why didn't I get my? They're gonna have to explain to me, and if they can't explain to me, I want to see your manager. I'm gonna call the scene. If you don't get respect, you as a man, you should command respect. I've been in Brazil, and a white lady, I was getting off the airport going through baggage claim. A white lady was rushing, and she like bumped my shoulder. I didn't brush that off. I'm like, excuse me, you bumped into me. Like, you let people, when people know that you aren't to be played with, then they're going to respect you. If I was in that restaurant and I address the situation, trust me, the next time me and my group of friends went in that restaurant, I promise you that situation wouldn't repeat itself. So we have to command respect, one. And then two, guys may not agree with this, but I like to flex. I like to flex because that's another way of commanding respect, right? So I use that example of like All In Brazil, right? And so you could be in this club and no woman's giving you attention. Now in the US, this is where the attention comes. Y'all want a hot side in the club. And when I come out and that Range Rover pull up, because I park VIP, or that GT Continental pull up, and now you see what car I'm about to hop into. Women be bopping, they flock. So and that's your way of flexing. So to flex like that, you gotta have money. You know what I mean? Whenever a chick, we used to use this term hot side. When a chick hot side on you, you have to flex on her to let her know what's up. If somebody disrespect you, you have to check them on sight. I just wanted to get that off, man.
Okay.
Ronan.
Yeah.
What's good, man?
I mean, I hear what you're saying. And I could say, yeah, 100%. But I'm going to push back a little bit. I'm the fucking prize. That means what you won't do, I can find 5 other chicks that will. You either get on my program or get the fuck out. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going to have to flex on you just to prove that I'm that guy that you need to stay with. Bitch, you should know when you came through the door who you dealing with. You get what I'm saying? It's not the same. I'm not going to have to throw my money out there to do the things I need to do to prove to you that you shouldn't talk to nobody else. You should be avoiding them niggas because you don't want me to see that there's a potential for you to leave. Because you already know there could be 4 or 5 other chicks sitting in line waiting.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? That's just the way I flow. Everybody knows about everybody else. If I'm dating multiple women, guess what? I don't hide the fact. You got to know what your routine is. I used to take chicks on trips. I had one girl that had priority first. You have first right of refusal. You say no, guess what? The other chicks got fucking the ability to accept. You think that first one that had first right of refusal ever turned me down when I said I'm ready to take a trip? Mm-hmm. Hell no. She didn't want to lose that position.
Yeah.
That's how you flex. Really. Without throwing all your money out there. Without worrying about getting a gold digger, just looking at what you got, putting out there, projecting what you got, coming after you for that versus who you really are.
I mean, it's part of respect too. I mean, you get if you pulling up in a nice whip and you got, you know, I'm not a jewelry person, but if you look like money, like you get people respect
Lee,
that too.
And to answer Lee's question, it does sound good until she meets another provider. And then she's always going to have a choice, just like I always have another choice to say whether I'm going to stay loyal to her. That's a whole thing. You can't sit there and kill yourself mind's eye worrying about what that chick's choice is going to be. You will never get anything done in life if you're sitting there worrying about the other one. You're going to do whatever you're going to do. I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. And I'm going to say this from the back of when I was in the military. You think I was able to get missions done if I had to worry about my wife back home and my kids and figure out what the fuck she was doing? Hell no. You have to prioritize things in your life, man. You can't sit here and worry about what that chick's going to do. If you know you can't fucking trust her, then you need to fucking kick her out. Why are you sitting there wearing yourself to death, getting anxiety and depression and all that shit, wondering what the fuck she's doing while you making all kind of wop? When you know damn well you can walk out the door and get another one. She ain't making it, you making it. You the prize, right? So why are you sitting here worrying about what the fuck she gonna do? She needs to worry about what the fuck you're gonna do.
I'm gonna push back on that, but let me get Backpack Val. What's good, Backpack? Go ahead,
what is shaking, my good brother? What's shaking?
What's up, Backpack?
What's going on? What's going on? Now, just thanks for having me on. I just wanted to say that, like, where did we come to as a society of men to where, you know, like we're constantly complaining about, you know, where we fare amongst women, whether it's in the States or overseas. So I thank you for, bringing this topic up because this offers a simple solution to the matter at hand. You know what I mean? Like, hey, just go where you remember having the best experience because
Hmm.
like it's just giving off feminine energy at this point where guys just complaining like, oh, they're not tall enough, they're not good looking enough. Like, what the hell? Like, were y'all misled or something like that by a content creator that told you that hey, you could go overseas looking like whatever the hell you want and the world gonna come flocking to you? You know what I mean? Like, are people just realizing that it's gonna take a little effort, no matter where you are, to get the girl that you do want? Like I just have all these questions because I'm just confused as to how we got to this point.
That's a good question, man. How do we get to the point of it could be entitlement? I mean, it could be entitlement to a lot of people. But I know you wanted to say something real quick, Pan African capitalist.
I was gonna say a lot of dudes think we still living in the year 2000 or something, bro. Where it's like women from these countries don't have social media and internet, like they've never met a foreigner before.
Right.
Back 24 years ago, 20 years ago, you could be a 400 pound dude and the baddest chicks in Thailand to be all on you, trying to get.
Are you going in and out, bro?
Yeah. We can't hear you right now.
Struggle streaming.
Those days are gone, bro.
You got to repeat like the last minute of what you just said.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
We hear you.
Okay, I was just saying, like back 10, 20 years ago, you can go to a country and be the ugliest dude in the world, 300 pounds overweight, broke as hell, and chicks will go for it. You might get an 8 or 9 or a 10.
Yeah.
But this is not 10, 20 years ago because the thing is, social media has, so it's not a situation where you like the only foreigner, the only person from the United States that they've ever seen.
Right. Yeah. So that basically you're confirming you need to have more than just that.
So
you need to have substance.
It's a lot of things. I mean, yeah. I mean, like even like a lot of places, like a lot of the white guys kind of been to first, and they kind of had their pick. Then once brothers start coming in and more swag, more money start coming in, some of the white guys felt the pressure. Like, damn, these niggas is raising a bar. You know what I mean? So that's part of the game. That's why you even have a choice of improving, competing, or moving around.
Right.
You know what I mean? People say DR is not the same, which is not. So if I wanted to fuck with DR, I gotta spend more money, or I could just go to another country where the barrier entry is lower. You know what I mean? So it's a game. That's why I call this the travel game. This is a travel game, man.
I mean, look, if you
gonna make a board game out of
this, if you improve yourself, you're just gonna make it a better situation for you. Whether it's fitness, personality, social skills, money. That's all what it boils down to. Like we know that's not necessarily the situation in the United States. It may be a different matter, but everywhere else, the more you improve yourself, the better your dating situation is going to be. So it's like all this complaining and shit. I'm with the brother at the bottom, man. All this complaining and shit, like that's some feminine ass shit, man. You gotta play the game and
exactly
and get the best. Go where you're treated best and get the best options you could get.
Because I want to ask, no excuse. I think you've been in this YouTube streets longer than I have. I've been around like since 2019 and whatnot. But like I'm pretty sure when you came in too, you weren't really hearing these types of conversations to where we had to have a live stream like this talking about, hey, like why don't you just go where you feel appreciated and whatnot? Because when I first got here, I was hearing about guys and their success stories overseas. Like I remember when I first recalled seeing you at BMT's channel. I think you were talking about Brazil and South Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like examples like that. like guys like winning. You know what I mean? But this is when I first started coming. But now, like we're hearing conversations of like guys getting rejected, or women don't really like us, or the white men are preferred more than we are. When these things weren't even a topic when I first started, you know what I'm saying, acclimating myself in this
Yep.
travel niche.
Nor did
Yeah,
it matter.
yeah. I mean,
Exactly. It didn't. Right? It wasn't
It
even a
didn't matter.
topic.
Brazil wasn't. I didn't. How should I say this? Brazil wasn't as sweet for me like Colombia, DR, but I just moved around. I'm like, y'all can have Brazil. You got it. I didn't really need to cry, and it is what I just took it. I just took for what it was. I mean, we supposed to be as content creators in the travel space. We supposed to be like, I visited these countries. This is the countries where I've had the most success at. If you look at me as your peer, or I'm a reflection of you, then maybe you'll have the same success as me. You know what I mean? So I only promote countries that I love, where I feel like I have the most success or most business opportunities or whatever outcomes that I'm looking for. That's what I promote the most. The countries that don't fit that, I'll point out the pros and cons, but it's still up to you. It's up to you to visit and make that uh, judgment for yourself. But
Right. Move around. Everybody's experience is not the same.
the problem is, I don't want to say it's a problem because I do it too. Because I consider myself the voice of popular opinion, and when I say popular opinion, that means that I feel like at least 50% of men are going to have the same perspectives that I have. So I feel like I have popular opinion. I feel like I've proved that. But if you haven't proven yourself to have popular opinion, you're going to get a lot of pushback because people are going to say, I don't know if the majority of men will kind of see things the way you see. But Buck just
And that
came
that
up.
dude, that's crazy. Like, why? Okay, that's what I don't understand. Like what the brother just brought up. If you're going to countries and you're getting seven, eights, nines, why are you complaining that another group of men are getting more seven, eights, and nines? That's
Correct.
crazy to me.
Like there's not
It's
enough to
like,
go around.
yo, I won the $4 million lottery, but he won the $6 million lottery.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. That is an excellent point. Real
And
quick,
it's
hey,
just like, hey, yo, choose a better chick next time. Like, it's really that simple. But hey,
now
who am
now
I?
now Backpack Val, like, what countries have you been to, and out of those countries, are those countries where you just felt like you were received better, or you had more success, or you feel like all of them been kind of like the same?
Uh, hmm, Obviously, Colombia, DR, Costa Rica, and I would say Singapore and Thailand as well. I went to Malaysia, but Malaysia is a little more, on the conservative side. Like, I would need a lot more time to, build rapport with women and
Yeah.
get to that point. But I wasn't even there for that. But those countries I just mentioned.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
I mean, for me, like I said, Colombia. I mean, Colombia was the sweetest country for me in Latin America when it comes to Africa. I mean, Africa. South Africa, I would say been good. But for me, Uganda, like a lot of people were surprised, like Uganda, man, the love is just on a whole nother level, man. And some people didn't like Uganda. Some people
You
don't like, huh?
you the first person that I've heard to put in a positive word about Uganda. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, Peso Man is up there right now. He lives there, and also O'Shea Jackson also lives there. But salute to the panel, bro.
What's going on, Buck?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll take it, bud.
I just want to give my thoughts on this, man. In regards to your title, no excuse, because I feel like what we need to do, we need to do is we need to start profiling guys. I definitely 100% agree with you. We need to profile guys and say, okay, if he's not having success overseas, we got to start calling guys out. Start calling out the metrics. Okay, so what is your height? You know, what is your height? We got to call it out. What is your stats? You know, because we can't be giving guys benefit of the doubt. You know, like if one guy have success in one country and another guy doesn't have success in another country, that means that guy. I mean, it's everybody's circumstances is always going to be different. But
Right.
if you're having a problem overseas in a particular country, then we need to figure out why. I feel like we need to get to the base of why is that happening.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, that's why I called out what Austin's height was in the chat. And then, like I said, you got to come with substance after that. If you meant a match up to 6 foot, you 6 figures, what else are you bringing to the table? Are you going to wind up being a fuckboy in that country? Or are you actually going to bring something to the table where a woman can get behind you and want to stay with you, if that's what you're looking for? If you're looking just to be a fuckboy, then be a fuckboy, shut the fuck up and keep moving.
But that's the problem right there. A lot of guys are confused with their intentions when they go overseas looking for a woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they don't know if they want to be in a relationship, you know, an exclusive one, or whether or not they want to mess with every girl they can get in contact with. And it's like, I don't know.
I mean,
and that's the thing,
I just don't get the complaining part, because every country, I've been over 10 countries, right? Every place I've been to, I had a good time.
I've been well received myself.
I literally had a good time. Then when I come back to the States, I'm like, oh fuck, man, I gotta back to the usual schedule. And I'm like, bro, every time when I'm overseas, man, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself and using that time off. It's like, what is there to complain about? I feel like this Austin Holloman dude, he's being nitpicky on certain things.
Yeah,
that's the thing about what you just said, right? A lot of so every country, you're not gonna be able to have your way with the women. That's what a lot of dudes don't understand.
Right.
Every country does not have a casual hookup scene type culture. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could hook up with chicks in any country, to be honest, but it's gonna be way harder to have casual sex with a chick in Morocco than it is to have casual sex with a chick up in Colombia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can do it. It's possible. But it's gonna be like day and night.
Yeah, you like you said, it's no reason to complain. Like I always use this example, right? When I lived in Chicago versus living in Houston. When I lived in Chicago, man, and a lot of guys say, man, I ran through chicks in Chicago. When I lived in Chicago in college, like I went through droughts. I mean, droughts. I mean, I'll walk up to a chick and she'd be like, give you that look, or I tap a chick on the shoulder, she won't even acknowledge that I touched her, like she didn't feel it. I'm like, these women are so disrespectful in their way. You know what I mean? And then I seen guys, some of my lighter skinned guys used to get women like it was nothing. So when I went to Houston, it was like the reverse. Like I was just pulling badder chicks than I was even shooting at in Chicago. So I was like, it's the location. You know what I mean? It's the location. Like Houston was sweet for me. Chicago wasn't. It is what it is. You know what I mean? That's just what we have to figure out when it comes to these places. Like some places are going to be sweet for you, some is not. One thing, me and Flip Flop was supposed to do a stream about this, but he was a little reluctant. He's reluctant to kind of talk about it. We were going to talk about we can put a personality type on what type of dudes like Brazil, what type of dudes like Colombia, DR, etc. You know what I mean? I do think that there is a certain personality type that meshes with certain countries. You know what I mean? I don't want to break that down yet, but I do think that some guys might fit the profile. Okay, Brazil might be sweet for him, or Colombia, or whatever. I do. I do think that. I have a question, Ronan, because you said you're the prize. So I want to ask you why are you the prize? Why are you the prize?
The level of experience I bring to a relationship, the type of money that I can bring, the stability, the resources you need me to keep going on. You know, the knowledge and impact I can bring to her family, because with my resources and my information, it also benefits the back end of her family, depending on what type of family she comes from. You get what I'm saying? I bring the whole sausage, regardless of what stage in life she is. I mean, pause. But whatever stage of life she's in, I can help her progress through that.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So you're saying that you got life experience, one thing at a time. So you said you got life experiences, right?
Yep.
So that sound like a chick saying, I got all these degrees in education. I'll bring that to the table.
Okay.
We dismiss that. So
you can.
I'm a PhD.
Yeah. So what makes you think your life experience can be dismissed too? Like that's.
Look, if she matches up to my standards, whether she has a PhD or not, she's still going to get in line with the other values I bring. Just because she has a level of intelligence, my background is architecture. I don't give a fuck what you know. I know just as much as you. So you got a piece of paper that said that you could apply yourself for 4 years because you didn't have life distractions and you got a fucking degree. What's that got to do with me being a man and running the fucking household? Why are you guys letting degrees and women distract you from your purpose as a man in a house?
But what does the prize mean? What does it mean to be a prize? Like just fundamentally.
You are the ultimate resource and the benefit of the overall union. She doesn't bring that. I do.
Okay, so you're the prize when it comes to you. If it's just you and her comparing each other to you, comparing yourself to her, you're the prize. But from a worldly, I guess.
Even with that, I should still bring more experience than that on her with that as well.
All right, so if 5 of us on this panel, right?
Go ahead.
You can convince a woman that out of all the 5 of us, she should pick you over all of us. Can you compel a woman? Could you compel a woman to say, you know what, Ronan.
I could compel a woman to say I'm a good choice. Now it's up to the woman to decide what she's actually looking for between the 5 of us sitting on this panel. I can never sway that. I can sway that I'm a good choice. I can let her hear the experience versus my experiences and you guys' experience on this panel. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be the woman's choice of what she desires at that moment on whether she's going to go with me or go with the other 4 of you.
You got to stand on that. Because if it was me, I'm going to say out of all these brothers on this panel, I'm the prize.
Okay. You can think that.
I don't know people personally, but I can be like, I don't care what these brothers doing. I'm the prize because of A, B, C, D.
And then when you get yourself set up to get hurt because she's sitting there saying, you might think you're the prize, but I actually prefer this other guy. Regardless of your stats. Women are not logical. So there's no sense of standing on logic when it comes to a woman's preference and their desires. It's just not going to work out.
So you really proved the point I was trying to make. What's the point of saying you're the prize if it's obsolete?
Like I said, she has to get on my program and understand that she needs to worry about if some other woman's trying to talk to me versus me worrying about whether she's talking to another man. And if I can't get with that, then I can't get with that. But I'm not going to lose my mind over it. Go ahead.
Let me ask, this is a question for all you guys, Pan-African first. If a very attractive chick passes on you, is it her loss? Is it her loss, or it just is what it is?
It's her loss.
It is what it is. I don't give a damn.
I mean, what's really the difference between those two options?
Well, if it's her loss, because if you're saying it's her loss, then you're really saying you're the prize, right? But if she got other options, then it's not really her loss.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I say it's her loss at the end of the day because I'm always think I'm the number one. the number one option when she's choosing. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But at the same time, if you look at like overseas, one of the benefits to us as men is we're already out competing 99% of the dudes in those countries. So we already are kind of like pre-selected when it
Right.
comes to finances and having that blue passport.
Right.
I would say it is what it is at the end of the day, because if she leaves, there's like 4 billion other women in the world. You know, so
Thank
a lot
you,
of guys have this mentality where, you know, they're stuck to just one woman forever. I mean, like, bro, you gotta have abundance mentality, man. That's why
Thank
you see
you.
that's why you see guys in Thailand deleting themselves, especially a lot of European, Australian dudes, because their Thai chick move on to some other dude.
Exactly. See, this is how I'm looking at it, right? So if we want to use the economic argument, right? We come from America, we come from the wealthiest country in the world, and we're going to other countries that isn't on our level. Our salary, even if you're making $50,000 a year, if you extrapolate that over the world, you're probably in the top 1%, right? Compared to all the men in the world, right? If you're making $50,000 a year, you're probably in the top 1% worldwide. So yes, you can make that argument if you go elsewhere, you are the prize. But when it comes to social media, that woman in Burundi, in Haiti, in Cambodia, if she looks good, her DMs, she still can get DMs from athletes, celebrities, entertainers, just like a woman in the U.S. can. She can get the same DMs from men in Saudi Arabia with millions of billions of dollars. And so, because social media is a country now. TikTok, Instagram.
I mean, it's possible.
Instagram is a country now.
I think it's possible, but I don't think it's probable. And I'm gonna say this. I say so one of my girlfriends is an influencer. She got like 100,000 IG subscribers and stuff like that. She don't really get, you know, celebrities and stuff trying to hit her DM. Not well, let's say maybe she'll get some dudes from her country, right? There may be celebrities or artists or something like that. But as far as like American dudes or dudes from like, you know, sheiks from Qatar or something like that hitting her up, she don't really get that, like talking about it. And I don't think most women, I don't even think most like rich dudes from the US are really checking for chicks. And it's so many. Another thing too is there's so many beautiful women. It's so many
Thank
of them.
you.
It's like
Too many.
like a one.
Too many.
It's
man.
like it's like a million beautiful women for every, you know, top 1% dude. You know what I'm saying?
And most
The ratio
1%
is
guys
crazy.
are not online looking for chicks.
Right.
They got enough right in their face. Dude, come on, think about it. You got enough chicks in your face already, let alone having to go look across the planet for one. So if you got that many chicks coming at you 24/7 and you're fighting them off just to figure out which ones are fucking legitimate in your own country, why are you online looking for any fucking thing else?
But we live in a
that's a
world
good
of
point.
delusion. We live in a world of delusion, though. Kevin Samuels tried to point this out.
Most men of wealth are not
Hold on.
delusional.
No,
Period.
I'm not talking about man. Most of these women are delusional. Kevin Samuels' arguments was always about statistics. Statistically, there's more, you know, there's a few percentage of men that make this amount of money. He used statistics about height. You know, a woman want a tall man. Statistically, there's this amount. But we have to understand we're dealing with women that's not logical. They're not looking at statistics. So yes, on paper, yes, we are the prize. It is their loss on paper. But the way they think, they don't know that. They think that they have all these.
They can find out the hard way.
You know what I mean?
They can basically fuck around and find out.
But that's why I said it's a moot point because they they don't conceptualize that, and they don't even recognize that you're the prize.
I don't think you could even have a good relationship with a woman if she doesn't believe that you're the prize as a man. In my personal opinion,
Because she doesn't respect
if,
you right off the top.
if she doesn't view the man as a prize, I think it's really just going to be a transactional relationship where it's like, cause it's like, think about it. She thinks she the prize, so okay, I'm the prize. You need to buy me this. You need to buy me that. It's gonna be based on, okay, you having to buy as much as possible. That
And the minute you go
for
down
for
that
woman.
road, it's over from the jump. You've
Yeah,
showed your
because it's
weakness.
never gonna end. It's not. It's just gonna,
It's
okay.
gonna keep on compounding.
Now
So
we went
don't
on
even
a
do it.
trip here. Now I want to go to Dubai. Okay, we went to Dubai. Now I want to go to the moon. That's how that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's just gonna keep building up because she doesn't value you in her eyes. She doesn't value you, so she's valuing the material things that you get for her. Not to say that if she view you as a prize, she doesn't want you to get her things and stuff like that. But if she doesn't view you as a prize, it's just going to become like uncontrollable, and that's going to be the only reason for her being in that relationship. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Bruce Lee just said it. She's a prize I can easily replace.
Right.
Period.
But the other challenge too is that a lot of these countries don't. I'll put it like this: not every country has a lot of beautiful women. You know what I mean? So where there's a shortage or a minority, I use Uganda for example, right? A lot of people say Uganda chicks not that attractive, but they have a small percentage of women that are highly attractive. Those chicks are hard. They are hard to get because they're in a minority. You go to Colombia, there's lots of beautiful women that go around, so that dynamic is a little different. But let's not make it seem like all these countries that there's a plethora of 8s, 9s, and 10s, because some of these countries are lacking. That's why guys are getting disappointed about the countries that have lots of beautiful women because they know if we could talk about Africa, there's only a handful of countries that have women on par with like Brazilians and Colombians. You know what I mean?
I don't know if there's any countries that's on that level.
Now, that's Rwanda.
And the reason I say that is because it's not even based on a natural beauty. It's the fact that Brazil and Colombia, the women
Brazil
their,
and Colombia number one, bro.
Brazil
and Colombia is number one.
They take their beauty
Venezuela's number one.
standard so
Brazil,
seriously, like, in terms of makeup and hygiene and stuff like that. It's
no
really
excuse.
it's really another level.
I don't even think those North African countries can even compete with Brazil and Colombia, Morocco, and all that. We counted all of Africa.
Venezuela's number one.
Let's just say all of Africa. North, Algeria, South Africa, Ghana, Ethiopia, Kenya. We just said all. I take Colombia and Brazil, man. Any day.
I'll say this. I would say that Africa compete once the women out there get their routines and stuff together. Like they get better wigs and they get their makeup on point. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some gorgeous women out there, but like I say, the beauty thing is just not on point right now. They catching up on that point.
Isn't that the great thing about everybody here? We all have our preferences of what we like and don't like.
And even
somebody might think Brazil or Venezuela or even Thailand or whatever country that they wind up settling in, that's where their beauties are. Then that's on them. We don't all have to crowd into the same fucking box.
Even with South America, like my last place I got back from Panama, I'm always reverting back to Colombia. So far I haven't been to a place that even competes with Colombia.
I will say,
like it's just so hard right now because like every place, like then the trip after before Panama, the trip before Panama was Japan, and I was like, man, a lot of these women look like teenage girls, man. They just so small, 5'5", 110 pounds. I'm like, yeah, this is
I'm
not.
with Drew. The best women you
Ooh.
can possibly find are United States. If their software wasn't so fucked up, you wouldn't be going anywhere else.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Nah,
Like,
United States, United
U.S.
States,
to compete with.
you got
Hold on.
millions
We
of
competing.
simps.
Hold on, bud. What you
No,
say?
we're just talking about the women. Like, no, like USA is definitely competing with the best of the best. I'm not gonna even lie. That's a fact.
Physically,
We got some beautiful
physical
women in our
attraction
country.
wise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Physically, I said software is fucked up. Physically wise, they stack up with everybody else, if not better, because they're all here.
Yeah.
They all come here. We don't have to go there to do it. They're right here. If their software wasn't so fucked up, you wouldn't go anywhere. You just find a chick here.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with Backpack Valor on that one. I think USA has the finest chicks in the world. It's just that, as Roland said, the software. But they're taken by the. I hate to say, but it's like it will come down to, at the end of the day, guys with resources. Guys with resources. That baddie.
And
Let me tell you something.
If you having issues overseas, it ain't because of height, man. I'm 5'7".
Thank you.
I'm like that's enough. Like I'm like this what these celebrity Negroes be going through and shit. I'm like it's too much action overseas, and I'm 5'7". So it really
but you could admit that you've been rejected because of your height before, right?
Yeah.
Not overseas, in the States.
So you 10 for 10. You 10 for you 100%. You 100% with women that you approach overseas.
Overseas?
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. Oh, okay. You know niggas gonna be like that's cap, but
I know they're gonna be like this cap.
The whole thing is it's his word against theirs. I mean,
well, put it like this: I really don't do. How can I put it? I use pre-selection to my advantage. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the type of stuff I do, like they're already interested. Like I don't really do as much cold approaching too much, but even cold approaching, I haven't had an issue with. You know what I'm saying? I use pre-selection to my advantage, where it's like, okay, the chick, there's really no way to lose at the end of the day.
Okay, so you
but it's so
very strategic then. Go ahead.
But this is the thing, though. It's okay to lose. Like, I don't want guys out here thinking that, you know what I mean? Like, damn, like she doesn't want to get with me, blah blah blah. Like, it's something I'm doing wrong. Like, no, just keep shooting, just keep trying. Like, well, but I've seen a lot of ugly dudes with like dimes. I'm not even gonna lie to you. In the States as well, they're not the richest people either. Like, I think it's more so dudes are just quitting too early. You know what I mean? Being too lazy, just being too pessimistic, and it's not trying hard enough. Like, honestly.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, honestly, I definitely agree. I seen.
No one's gonna. No, my fault. No one's gonna bat a perfect. Like, you know what I'm saying, like a 1.0. No one's gonna do that. And as a matter of fact, people are gonna get rejected more so than not. You just gotta just keep going. I think it just gets to people when they get rejected. This is why we are at the point that we're at right now talking about it.
Let me read the super chat real quick. Backpack. Shout out to QB for $2 super chat. He said receipts to back your claim up. And I'm laughing at this because he said he's 100% in the red light district.
That's funny. No excuse. No excuse.
Hold on. Let me let backpack finish because I cut him off.
No, I landed the plane. I landed.
No, I just wanted to ask you real quick. Do you remember me from GMT's WhatsApp group?
Yeah.
Okay, so I put plenty of receipts in that group a couple of years ago, but I really don't post stuff publicly like that anymore because dudes be going back to chicks and telling
you official brother. You official brother. You know we niggas still gonna say cap though.
Yeah, they gonna talk that shit. I ain't mad at it though. I'm glad that was a good one though. 100% in the red light district. I like.
Let me get Astronomics in and Ronan moderate the chat. I gotta step away for a moment.
All right.
Hey, what's up? I just got one. I It's not even a question. I just wanted to hear y'all opinion on it. So, all right. So I was talking to an Ethiopian, right? And I'm an American, obviously. I'm from Maryland. So pretty much, I mess with the Caribbean. So the reason why I clicked on here because of the title. It says "Go where you're loved" or something like that. So I messed with the Caribbean. So what I did was, I just flew her to the Caribbean. So pretty much, it's different marriage laws and shit. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. But pretty much, if you fly them to another country instead of in America, like instead of USA, but fly them to the Americas, then they can't really do that little game on you. You get what I'm saying? That little USA game where they kind of like run game on you. You get
I
what I'm
mean,
saying? So if you choose a location that you mess with and you fly them out to where you at instead of America, then that's like a cheat code right there.
somewhat.
Yeah, because you still in Americas, you just not in the USA, and you got it don't even have to be Ethiopian. That's just my case. You get what I'm saying? But yeah,
But even
which
with that theory, you have to think about, is she playing the long game? You're flying her out, so you're already you're footing the bill, which is not a bad thing. I take sand to the
oh
beach all
yeah,
the
and
time.
my
How
thing is
long have you dated that woman before you decide to fly her out? How long have you
uh,
talked to this woman before you decided to start spending money on her? Because whatever level you start at, you're gonna need to maintain and increase.
so I had my own like standards. I don't want to get too deep, but she was like a prayer woman or whatever. I don't want to get too deep into that. That was one standard if I'm spending money on them, and then she had to been like already had a career. She didn't have a career, but she was a she graduated to become a doctor. But in her country, the government did something where they can't become doctors right now. You get what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
but
My thing. Oh,
I told her she not coming to America, at least not until I have like 2, 3 kids. And just naturally, I wasn't trying to hold that over her head. I just pretty much I had a whole game plan, like literally, like
Oh wow.
to where as though all that American
Uh-huh.
swindle that's
well,
not gonna happen.
All right, Astro, hold on.
well,
Land your plane so Backpack and some other people can input on what your initial statement was. Go ahead, Backpack, since you're already ready.
yeah, I wanted to ask, like, so you're bringing an Ethiopian to Latin America. I think one thing that could work
No,
towards
not
your
Latin
disadvantage,
America.
not
Not
Latin
Latin
America.
America.
Oh, okay,
The
okay,
Caribbean.
so
He said
the
the
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that country would obviously speak English, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, okay,
And they would
okay,
have a
because I was
better medical infrastructure
like
than
an infrastructure
Ethiopia.
for. Okay,
So then she'll be able to be a doctor there. That's how it's gonna look.
okay, okay. Understood, understood. Because I was thinking that it was somewhere in Latin America. So I was going to ask if any of you speak the language, because if you didn't, it would work as a disadvantage. You know what I mean? Being a couple, being in a country that, speaks another
Yeah.
language or whatnot, but that's not
But
your situation. So,
but Backpack, wouldn't that also lend to them pulling together as a team because they're both at a disadvantage in a foreign country? Because I've seen women rewrite their own program, American women, when they've gone overseas with their men, and because their support system was them and their man, they act different. So do you think that could be the same thing with this girl in his situation?
I suppose, like what you said could play out. You know what I mean? But I always just like Um, I always suggest people to like play careful when they make decisions such as that. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm speaking against it or anything like that, but just to make it easier for yourself if you were to relocate to a country where you don't speak the native tongue, like at least have somebody with you that does at some point. Like somebody's gonna have to, you know what I mean? So if it's not you, make sure it's a part of it just so it's easy for you to navigate through the country. I get the challenge and overcoming that challenge, but like also like there's a convenience factor, you know what I'm saying, to it all too. Like I understand that you may not be able to communicate with your like significant other. Like that does also play a problem, right? When
Sure.
you don't where you don't know the national language, but like there's still ways around it though. There's still ways around it. But like
Uh,
I still feel like you'll get a better understanding if you were with somebody that could speak the language or knew the layout of the land.
all right. Hey,
Astronomical.
Nick Travels, you're new to the panel. Why don't you go ahead and input on Astral's situation if you got input on that?
No input right now. Yeah, but I've been to Colombia, Argentina, Paraguay. I work remotely, so I stay in months, 2 months at a time.
I hear your accent. Where are you from originally?
Jamaica.
Okay. Pan African, you got any input?
Astronomics, the Caribbean country that you're planning on moving to, are you a citizen of that country?
No. So I pretty much I was in between a few of them actually, but pretty much like work permits, and businesses. So you get you get residency off of things like that as well.
So do you have residency, or are you looking to obtain residency?
No, I have residency now.
Okay. I don't know. That's a complex situation because neither of you are citizens of the actual country. What I would do, I mean, if you haven't already, is I would check with a local lawyer in that country to see what type of possible risk you could probably expose yourself to. If you do move her down there, if y'all decide to have kids, like what country would the kids be citizens of, and all of that type of stuff. But that's the main thing. If you're moving her, you want to see what type of possible risk that it may pose to you, because
Yeah, we already went over that.
I
It
know
was
if you
more so
plan on bringing them,
like
let's say if you plan on bringing them to the
Go ahead. What was your what? Hold on, Pan. What
ahead.
was the response for you guys working that out? What was the discussion? How did that
so
go?
pretty much it works like this. So you can't get a dual citizenship in Ethiopia. So what happens is they get an American citizenship, but a residency in Ethiopia.
What about the country you guys are moving to
So
that
you
or
Oh,
or
they get
not?
that citizenship there automatically also. But I don't want to talk like that on this live, but that does happen.
Okay. Go ahead, Pan.
so you
Because I know you have follow up
you
questions.
plan on you plan on helping her get a U.S. Citizenship.
Maybe after like 3 kids, and they gotta actually be conscious. Cause if she run out or do something weird, they gotta actually know that their mother did that. Not it wasn't no weird stuff. But I'm genuine with it. Like I took my time with everything. So
Okay.
Okay, last
Oh,
question. For the kids, where do you plan on having her have the kids? In her country?
um, well for the most part, like where we set up, where we are situated at. So and the first one obviously in the Caribbean, you know. But no, mostly all of them gonna be outside of Ethiopia. To be honest with you.
Nick,
So
you got some pushback on that?
yeah, so what you can do, you can look into, it's called birth tourism. So basically people just go to certain countries to give birth. And what that does is it allows your kid to have like multiple citizenships. And then you automatically get residency. So for instance,
It's not as
Argentina.
automatic, but I get what you're saying. And I was doing that in all the countries I love. So I mean, it was only like two countries that I love anyway. But yeah, and I wasn't just doing it just because of that. I was setting up like infrastructures in these places too. It wasn't like just off of the strength for that. Even the Ethiopian was arranged, far as me connecting with her.
So this is gonna be your first kid, or you got other kids?
No, this was my first kid.
Oh, she's not pregnant right now, though, right?
No, she's not pregnant right now. Nope.
Okay. Oh, okay. How old are you?
Yeah, I think that's
I'm 30.
You're 30. How old
Yeah,
is she?
this is solid plan. Like
How
I
old is
know
she?
This
How old
nigga
is
got
she?
a plan,
she's
son.
20 she's 26.
Okay.
But I mean, the Ethiopian passport is not really strong, though. Is what I'm
That's why I
saying.
said, but the kid's not gonna be born there.
Right.
Oh,
You got
But
the plan.
so it's
Yeah,
pretty
man, this
much
is a.
a
I
good
just want
plan.
to say this is a complicated situation because
It can
I
be.
know Ethiopia doesn't give dual citizenship, so it's like
But they give permanent
you got to think
residency.
about how
So
can they get back. They if she want the kids to visit her family in the country and all this type of stuff.
there's certain benefits.
But
So you got
you know,
permanent residency. So that's still good. You just can't like do stuff like vote and stuff. But you can do a lot of other things. But it's all about having rights. You know.
So
The,
is she willing to give up her Ethiopian citizenship to move to wherever
oh
and
no,
become a
she's
citizen there?
no. She would just get residencies because she's like traditional. So she's
Okay.
not going to do
But
that.
the child or the children that are being born would have to, you would have to make a choice whether you're getting them a U.S. passport or Ethiopian one.
Yeah, and whatever one they choose, or whichever one we choose, that will be a permanent resident of the other one.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty
Hey, Buck,
Let
you've
me
been
read
real.
the super chat real
Hold on.
quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Shout out to Ellis, man, for the $5 super chat. He said, I feel like dating in America, you have home field advantage. You have your house, car, you can plan everything and leave properly. Yeah, that's true. That's key. Appreciate it, bro. All right, go ahead.
Agreed.
So Buck, you haven't chimed in yet. You got any comments on Astro's situation?
I really don't have any comment on it, but I do have I just want to piggyback on the main topic. Like I was saying earlier, I feel like we gotta call out guys. We gotta see why guys are not having success overseas, because I personally know guys who went to Europe and they cleaned up. They cleaned up easily. Then you got this Austin Holloman character. He goes to Europe and he's complaining, saying, "Oh, they're not checking for us in Spain. They're not checking for us in Turkey and all that." I'm like, okay, we gotta right now. Okay, Austin, we gotta stop calling out. You just see the metrics. What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? How tall are you? There's a lot of factors that can play into it. And another thing is like somebody got to be there with him and assess him, because maybe he's getting rejected because I feel like some of these chicks are feeling like this dude is a square, not taking the shots at him, but it's just that's the way it is, man. It's like, bro, man, you're like 25 years old in the prime of your life, and you going overseas and hooking up, with pros when you can just stay here in the Matrix, because most 25 years old are winning here in the Matrix. They're getting chicks. I mean, he's playing the old man. What old guys are doing, like going overseas and all that. I'm like,
hey, don't throw me in that, but I'm not going.
Not rolling. You're not that rolling. The way you're doing it is the I would say is the like that should be a standard for guys. Like you're going to Philippines, you get whatever married or whatever to a chick and all that. But the way Austin Holloman is moving, he's just moving recklessly, man.
But let's stop complaining about Austin. You know what I mean? We see what's up. we see what's going on.
African
you know what I
had to
mean?
leave. He said, "Great chat." He had to bounce. Peace out.
Okay, appreciate it, bro, for coming up, man. But yeah, we need let's kind of close. I want everybody to kind of close on what countries, give like one or two that you feel like, even if you're not a content creator, what countries, if you have to pick two countries, what countries would you really promote in a positive way instead of negative? And before y'all answer, I want to say this. I think Austin should, whatever country that is, he should start promoting that country that checks the most boxes for him. If it happens to be Kenya, I want to hear about why he loves Kenya, why it checks all the boxes. I don't want to hear about, well, you want to give information about countries, the pros and cons, but leave it at that, and hype up the countries that is sweet for you. That's what I want to hear. Right. But let's start with let me start with Buck, man. one or two countries, man, that you would promote, and why?
So far out of the 10 countries, and I'm saying so far because these are the
One
only
or two,
countries I've
bro.
been.
Just one or two
No, no.
countries.
Based on where I've been, and I've only been to 10 countries. So at this moment, it might change in the future. I'm saying Colombia. The reason why I say Colombia is the best value. They have a very good infrastructure. The women are pretty. Like it's you could find relationship out there. Like the
You said
longer
where?
you, Colombia. I would say
Okay,
Colombia
come
is
on.
number one. I have Colombia as number
Okay,
one.
okay,
So yeah. So I
okay.
would say Colombia. The reason is best value, like overall.
All right, so you'll push Colombia, and is it another country, or just Colombia?
Uh, I have another country, but I don't want to put it out there, man. I don't want.
He tried to keep it low key to himself.
Yeah.
We're gatekeeping now.
I think Drew knows. I think Drew in the chat knows, but
All right, all right, cool, but appreciate you coming up, man. You can drop yourself down. Let me get
salute.
Astronomics, man. You know, one or two countries, man, you would
I
promote.
gotta give you
And
three
what?
though, because the Caribbean is like one place really.
All right, all right.
All right, so my first one will be Barbados, because the infrastructure. It's
Okay.
just like if you wanted to set up shop there with whatever you got going on, you can just do that, and it's easy and
Mhm.
it's welcoming. But with women there, see, with women, I ain't gonna lie, I'm used to just setting up my whatever I got going on, and then I'll even like fly women from whatever country to where I'm at, you know.
Okay.
So I don't really choose from that country anyway. But the women there is tough though. They tough. They tough. Then I would say for y'all need to check out Martinique. You know, if y'all want, if because the women there is like it's like they're just like the Trinidadian women. You know.
Okay. Okay.
And then if you want something serious, like and you want to just focus on business or your path, then I would say Ethiopia.
I'm
So
team Ethiopia with you, man. So
yeah. But
appreciate that insight, man.
where I'm at right now is
Uh-huh.
Dominica. That's where my base at. So it's just a place where like I don't even know where nobody even go there. It's just my hub. Like you know how Rihanna got her. Everybody know Barbados for Rihanna
Yeah.
place. Like I'm creating a place like that in fucking Dominica. That's my plan in the next 10
I'm gonna
years.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do a stream like as we sleeping on the West Indies, man.
Yeah, y'all
But
definitely is,
You
bro.
definitely are.
Y'all definitely is. Cause
You
I ain't gonna
definitely
lie.
are.
The living
I can tell you that.
expenses, the living expenses is like, bruh, it's like for $300-400 you can get something nice, and then you ain't really living third world. It's like second world, and then bruh, it's just it's like y'all skipped right over it, like literally, and went
Say
straight to
them.
Africa,
I didn't.
straight to Europe,
Yeah.
straight to fucking China. Everybody want to come here, so it's easy for you to like
As a
get them
child, I
here,
started
set
off
up a
in Caribbean,
basis.
never stopped going back. I always go back to the Caribbean.
it feel like
Yeah.
it comes off like the Matrix. Well, I'll put it like this. I assume it's like the Matrix. That's
No,
why.
it's definitely not. It's definitely
Mm-mm.
not. They barely got addresses. In Dominica, there's no addresses. You
For
know?
real.
Yeah. So it's literally like, bro, it's literally like just like Africa, but with better infrastructure. You know?
Mm.
All right, conversation for another day, man. Appreciate you coming up, man.
Pablo says, "Stop inviting these ninjas to your happy place."
No, this is a real good place, man. It's for like a barbershop, but with guys that's like making moves, you know?
Right, right.
No channel got this vibe right here. Like
Well,
in this whole movement, it felt like I was at a therapy session or some shit. But
hmm.
it's cause listen, we all like in different parts of the world where nobody we know it. So if this should be like a standard vibe for real, you know. But that's all.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate y'all.
Interesting. All right, bro. Nick Travels.
What's going on? What's going on? So I'm gonna say Mexico and
Wow.
Morocco.
Oh
Morocco,
wow.
Morocco, if you're Muslim,
Okay.
or you're serious, you're really serious about marriage and actually trying to find a wife. Morocco is dirt cheap. It's basically the same as far as the currency. It's basically as cheap as Colombia. Colombia. There's a lot to do. There's different cities. You can hop on a train and go to another city in like 2 hours. Very easy, super safe. The food is good. You know what I mean? Egypt is right there. Algeria is right there. Spain is right next door. So if you're serious about marriage or if you're Muslim, I would say Morocco. And then Mexico. Mexico is really close to the States. If you have any emergencies or if you shop online like me, the food is amazing. Mexico is like the top 3 best food in the world. Mexico is kind of like, it's set up like Colombia and Brazil, where it's like the country's so big. If you get bored in one city, you can just fly to another city, and it's a whole different vibe. You know what I mean? You got the beach, you
That's
got
true.
the city. You want to go hiking, all in one. You can do everything. So the pesos is kind of strong right now, but that's not too big of an issue. But yeah, I would say Mexico and Morocco.
Mexico and Morocco, man. Okay. Sounds up QB's alley.
Yes,
But yeah,
sir.
man. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
You could drop yourself down. Backpack Val, man. 1 or 2 countries, man. You would promote, man, and why?
So, all right. So if it's talking about all right, living there long term and eventually finding a woman, right? That's what we're emphasizing.
Mhm.
I would suggest Costa Rica, most definitely.
Mm.
Reason being because number one, it's rated as the best place for an expat to retire at, rated by many. And two, that you'll find a lot of gorgeous women as well, like Colombian like, Venezuelan like. You know why? Because they be going there too. You know what I mean? Like that's where they go for, a better opportunity and whatnot.
Mm.
Also, you could use the dollar bill. A lot of people who work, well, everyone who works in the sector of hospitality. Is there something in the background?
Go
Did I
ahead.
hear that?
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
okay.
no excuse. Something came through on him. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say a lot of people that work in the field of hospitality, they do speak English, eloquent English at that. So it's just easier to, for you to like walk out your house and ask for something of assistance if you need. Um, yeah, the infrastructure is up to par. The women is beautiful and they're very patient as well. Not really a headache or a hassle from, my experience with them. So I would definitely look at Costa Rica for those who are interested in Latinas, but just want a more easygoing vibe, slower pace. Costa Rica is that, and I would say Thailand as well. Yeah, I mean it's while the distance. I do call it, and I don't want to sound derogatory, but like a loser's paradise. Like I've seen a lot of guys win, a
Oh,
lot of guys win. Yeah, and I'm talking about scoring on some like gorgeous Thai woman. Like I wasn't even going to Thailand all that type of time thinking that the women were fire, but I've seen plenty, and I've seen guys score. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
from like all facets of life. So I'm like, hey, like it shouldn't be hard for any dude who's complaining about getting women overseas to go to Thailand and find something that they like. There's a lot of women out there. It's also very safe and very affordable on all fronts. Like as far as like finding an apartment, food, groceries, going out the club, everything is cheap. So yeah, Thailand is definitely number 2 for me. So Costa Rica and Thailand are mine.
Okay, man. Everybody has
Yeah.
got it's
Mhm.
diversity on this panel, man. Everybody got
Well,
different
yeah, wait
countries,
until you
man.
hear what I
I
say.
did want to say, my fault. Like me personally, I'm a Colombia guy. You know what I mean? I love Colombia. That's like my playground. But like, I have to be upfront and honest. It's not the safest place in the world. So you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it would just be irresponsible of me to like just suggest that Colombia would be that primary place I would suggest somebody to go to. You know what I mean? I would just say go there and have your fun. But do your own due diligence when making long term plans for a country like that. And I'll land the plane right there.
I appreciate you, bro, coming up, man. Any mods, man, drop a Backpack Val channel in the chat,
Yo,
man.
thank you for having me. Salute to No Excuses. Salute on the travels. I'll catch you on the next live stream. All right.
Yep.
All right.
Now I'm gonna throw y'all off in a second.
Oh man.
You ready? You already
Yeah,
know
yeah.
the first obvious one. Everybody knows the first obvious one if they follow me. The
Philippines,
obvious
right?
one would be the Philippines. Right.
All right.
The one that's not so obvious would be Australia.
Okay.
And I'm not
Okay.
talking the Sydney side, I'm talking the Perth side.
Okay.
So Australia has everything I would be looking for. Matter of fact, I've said this years ago. If there was a place that I would go to if I left the United States, Australia was always the first one on my list.
Okay.
I wouldn't be giving up much moving to Australia, but I would be gaining a lot when it comes to the people and how they move. I've always gotten the feel that they're maybe 40 years behind us when it comes to the way they move and how they operate. And the women just love us, period. American men, period. It doesn't even have to be black men. Any American man, they really appreciate our morals, our values, and even above their own men. So you're actually favored in Australia as an American man, even over their own men.
Okay.
Check that. So I have not gone to New Zealand yet, but once I move to Philippines, New Zealand is on my list, and that might replace Australia. But Australia would be my second choice above or below the Philippines.
Wow, that was a surprise. Australia.
Mm-hmm. Y'all need to check it out. Trying to tell you.
Okay. Well, you a YouTuber now, so
they're gonna see it. Believe that. They'll see it once I get over there and get established. That's gonna be my home port, so I'll be able to fly to all these countries a lot more conveniently from there than the United States.
all right, sounds good, man.
I'm gonna back down.
If you can't post put Backpack Val channel in the chat.
I'm not a mod, bro.
You're not a mod.
Not in this room. I'm a mod and No Excuse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I think you got Bert and some other people in here.
But you connected though, right? You still connected on your screen, right?
Yeah, I can drop it in. I'll drop it in the panel. Yeah. But go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna
All
turn my
right.
camera
No,
on.
that's it.
Drop me down so I can do that real quick.
All right, let me drop you down. All right. Well, this is a country that I will promote. I'm gonna have to do it by continent because I think every continent has something to offer. There are countries where I would say, pay for play is popping, but I'm not gonna put that out there. So I just talk about more of like casual dating, relationships, and or marriage. Now in Latin America, man, Colombia, I ain't gonna lie, man, Colombia is still king. I went back and forth between Colombia and South Africa, and I put South Africa above Colombia, but Colombia just ended up coming on top. I mean, Colombia arguably has the highest percentage of beautiful women in the country. I would say at least 7 out of 10 women are attractive in Colombia. So by it being so many attractive women, by default, you're gonna end up with attractive women. And Colombia is the only country where I've seen where the highly attractive women are still humble to the most part. A lot of guys, even with the pros, a lot of guys got phone numbers to a lot of these very attractive Colombianas. You know what I mean? Where they calling them their friend. A lot of guys have access to beautiful women in Colombia, whereas other countries, it's hard to find or it's hard to get access, and it's hard to maintain them friendships or relationships that you may develop. So Colombia just has the women. And then the other reason I like Colombia too is because there's so many cities that you can have a good time in Colombia. We go a lot of these other countries, you may go to the main city or maybe another city, and all the other cities it kind of like it kind of falls off. But we got, shout out to the guys that's in Cali, Colombia right now, like Flyboy Way, Kings of Dreams, Andre live out there. Guys in Cali, Colombia for the Black Festival, the Patrino Festival. That's Cali. You got Bogota, Medellin, Cartagena. And then I took it upon myself to visit Afro-Colombian cities like Quibdó and Choco. There's another city called Tumaco that I'm going to be going back to. And then San Andreas is is a lot of black people on San Andreas if you like black or Afro-Latinos. So Colombia just has so much to offer: the food, the weather. You got consistent weather in Medellin. If you like the mild climate, you got consistent weather in Cartagena. If you like hot climate, Colombia is the only country where there's no fluctuation in weather. It's a constant 70s, 80s, or whatever city that is. It's always constant. So you don't have to worry about change in weather. Now that's Latin America. Now, when it comes to Africa, I would say Ethiopia definitely if you want a wife, and I'll talk more about Ethiopia on my other channel, the No Excuse channel. But Ethiopia, just because it's more about the mentality of the women. It was a country that wasn't colonized, and it has one of the most preserved histories as it pertains to religion. If you have religion values, whether you're Muslim or Christian, Ethiopia is the most untainted country in Africa, even though westernization has penetrated Ethiopia. But if you want to find a wife, or I would say best suited to find a wife, I would say Ethiopia. I still say Colombia too, only because Colombianas, from what I've noticed, is they're not really social media driven like other countries. There's a lot of beautiful Colombianas that are on Instagram that got 100, 200, 300 followers. So the influence is there, but it's not as prevalent. So I do still believe that Colombia is a great place to find a wife. But we have to do better jobs at vetting women worldwide. That's another stream I'm going to do is talk about vetting, because a lot of us men, include myself, I've been in tens of 20s of relationships, and if I'm not picking the right one, I can't always point the finger at the women. I have to look at me and say, hey, am I good at vetting? But that's a whole nother conversation. So we got Colombia, Ethiopia, and Africa, Tanzania too in Africa, and the jury is still out on other countries. But I wanted to mention earlier, Rwanda has a specific group of women that are highly attractive that can compete with the Brazils and Colombias of the world. So there are women in Africa or countries that have the women that can definitely compete. Rwanda is definitely one of them. South Africa too, to a certain extent too. South Africa can compete too. And then lastly, I would just say Asia. I would just say Thailand. That was the least expensive country I've ever been to. That's the only country where I've taken a trip and I've had money left over. Thai chicks I believe are the most attractive Asian women, in my opinion. The food is great. Thai food is probably one of the best in the world. Definitely top 3. And it's the land of smiles for a reason. Women can be very friendly and nice, affectionate. So those are places that I would promote, and places that I don't really care for or have a lot of negative opinion, I let people know that I don't like a country by not talking about it. So if I'm not talking about your favorite country, it's because it's not, it doesn't check the boxes for me. So, but yeah, that's all I got, man. Let me see. KBJ Fly said, "Stop crying, open your mouth, and suck the milk." But yeah, I appreciate the chat. Oh, I just enable memberships, man. I know a lot of you guys support a lot of brothers, man. So you might be stretched out, man. But if somebody could support the channel, man, and be my first member, I'm trying to get up to 10. I added some cool things to the membership to make the chat fun. So the membership $2.99 a month. If people can at least be a member for a month, man, it'll help out a lot. So just asking people to do that if you can. But yeah, this your boy No Excuse of the Passport Bros podcast. I'll be tuning in to you guys next week when I'm in Colombia. Peace out.